Manchester City are finished. And I want no excuses from all of you City fans. And I'll tell you now exactly why. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Welcome to another match reaction as we're here to talk about Crystal Palace 2, Manchester City 2. Big up to every single one of you guys locked in. Make sure you guys are liking the video. Make sure you guys are subscribing. Share this video everywhere. And I'm just going to get straight into it. I don't want to hear any excuses from any City fan, because you always take the high ground when it's a Liverpool or an Arsenal fan speaking, and you start talking about standards, and you start talking about how you're all high and mighty, better than all of us type of club with standards and prestige. I don't want to hear no excuses about referees. I don't want to hear no excuses about injuries. Today, you went to Crystal Palace, who have been absolutely trash all season long, and you could not beat them. Even with 11v11, you could not beat them. So I don't want no excuses whatsoever. I'm going to tell you exactly why. The reason why I don't want any refereeing excuses is because when I brought up referees for the infamous stuff, like the stuff that I will never forget, like the Rodri handball moment that everyone remembers. Everyone remembers the Rodri handball. You think we forget? No, my brother. We don't forget such moments. We do not forget such moments, because these moments were defining in title races. These moments were life-changing for us. Instead of the City fans saying we got away with one, they nicknamed it the hand of Rod. So I don't want no excuses about no referees. Rico Lewis was rightfully sent off. He was on a yellow already, and he went for Chaloba's foot or ankle or whatever it is, and that's a clear yellow card for me. That's a clear yellow card, and I'm not having any excuse. Because you're the same fan base, City fans. Sorry. You're the same fan base, City fans, that told us all, you all told us, oh, we don't make excuses at Manchester City. We don't talk about referees. We have such high standards. Okay, this is your moment then. Don't talk about referees. Don't talk about Rico Lewis was sent off, because you were trash even when it was 11v11. You're the same fan base that celebrated this. And I'm meant to feel bad for you? You celebrated this. You called Liverpool the worst title defense ever when I had Van Dijk, Matip, and Gomez, all three of them out till the end of the season. You're the same fan base that called Arsenal fans bottle jobs when they did not have Saliba for the last 8 games, when they were 8 points ahead, or 5 games, or whatever it is. So I don't want no excuses. I'm not accepting any excuses from any City fan. There will be no excuses accepted. Today you were simply not good enough. And that's it. Sorry, I'm still a bit sick. And you know what I find interesting about this whole conversation? You want to know what I find interesting about this whole conversation? Crystal Palace this season have had their worst run. Under Glasner this season, they've had a really tough time. They've had 2 wins out of 15 games. They've had 7 draws and 6 losses. Crystal Palace have been on a really bad run. Really bad. And even today, you could see, even when they scored, they were a bit shaken. Actually, Crystal Palace probably had the more dangerous chance of the game, and they could have won the game. So what we're not going to do is sit up here and baby Man City. Oh, Man City, it's okay because this player's out and that player's out. I thought you guys have standards. I thought when you have injuries, you deal with it, unlike Liverpool and unlike Arsenal. So what we're not going to do is this whole excuses FC, where we all sit up here and talk about the injuries and how we had this player out and that player out. Your team on the day was still a lot better than Manchester City. Was a lot better than Crystal Palace. This is your starting lineup. Ortega, Walker, Diaz, Gvardio, Lewis, Gundogan, Silva, De Bruyne, Savio, Matheus Nunes, and Erling Haaland. That lineup is not good enough to beat Crystal Palace? Come on. Don't bring me excuses. I think this game is on Pep. Pep Guardiola made the mistakes today. Pep Guardiola reverted back to the system that anyway did not work, and anyway cost them points, and anyway led to City's downfall. He did not play the same way that they played against Nottingham Forest. Today, he played a completely different style. And that was the style where City lost like the games in a row, and they bottled it against Feyenoord. That's really what he did. He reverted back to what he originally did that got them into this position to begin with. And I have to say something. Today, we have to point out the horrible players that Manchester City had. Kyle Walker. Kyle Walker is scapegoated by the City fans because they just blame him for everything. But Kyle Walker today was absolutely horrendous. Kyle Walker is finished at the top level. Kyle Walker cannot perform at the top level. Kyle Walker is no longer that guy. Yes, if you're doing an all-time Premier League 11 and you put Kyle Walker in there, no one's going to be mad at it. But as things stand, 2024, Kyle Walker is not that guy at all. I think this is, again, a bad performance from Kyle Walker. Another guy I want to talk about who's actually having probably one of his worst seasons is Josko Gvardiol. Gvardiol, again, today, got cooked and bullied by Mateta, by Ismail Assar, by whoever was playing down that right-hand side. Rico Lewis was left back. Absolutely destroyed today, Gvardiol. Absolutely destroyed. And he got cooked by whichever forward Crystal Palace had running. And I have to give a special shout out to one Crystal Palace player who I actually thought was better than everyone else, and that's Will Hughes. I thought this was probably Will Hughes' best game I've watched of him this season, and you could say from a really long time, even from his Watford days, this was one of the best games I've watched of Will Hughes. Absolutely composed on the ball, stopped a lot of City's attacks. He was there kind of playing that DM role, like a deep-lying playmaker, but at the same time getting stuck in tackling. And I have to say, Rico Lewis's red card was a deserved red card. You're on a yellow card. You go in for a tackle that harshly, that strongly. You cannot expect that the referee is not going to give you a second yellow. And actually, I was shocked because City never really have decisions like this that go against them. Usually, City always have decisions that go for them. So the fact that they got a yellow card in that position, absolutely correct decision. I don't think the City fans have anything to moan about, anything to complain about. Correct decision by the referee. And Man City have been absolutely rubbish. And Man City are finished. Maybe they are Rodri FC after all. Maybe they are, because the impact that Rodri would have had on this team over his last 4 or 5 games, I don't think they would be in this position to begin with. And this is yet another blip on the Manchester City resume. And listen, Manchester City next go away to Juventus, and then they have the Manchester Derby, and then they go to Aston Villa away. These next 3 games could be a very bad run for Manchester City. And I hope they lose all 3. Inshallah, they lose all 3, despite the fact I hate United more, but we are in a tighter race with Man City. Manchester City are finished now. They're done. I really don't think they can come back from this just purely from a mental perspective unless they sign players, which is why my club, and if you're an Arsenal fan watching this, or if you're a Chelsea fan watching this, must capitalize, must keep winning. And the only way that you kind of destroy the Manchester City hope is by keep winning. And you put your team and yourself in a position where even if Man City do sign a Bruno Guimaraes and come back and win like 10, 12 in a row or whatever it is, your team is so far ahead that it doesn't matter. Kind of what we did in 2019, 2020, and that's what I hope we do again this season. But anyway, guys, Man City are finished. This was a fun watch along, despite the fact that maybe Crystal Palace could have won it, but I'm being a bit greedy regardless. Make sure you guys are liking, sharing, subscribing, and we'll see you whenever we see you. Peace.